Listen, 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 more often to things than to bees. 'Tis the ancestors' breath when the fire's voice is heard. In the voice of the waters those who have died have never left. The dead are not under the earth. They are in the rustling trees. They are in the fields. They are in the crying grass. They are in the moaning rocks. The dead are not under the earth. So listen more often to them than to beings. Listen more often to them than to beings. To kiss the ancestors' breath when the fire's voice is heard. 'Tis the ancestors' breath in the voice of the waters. Those who have died have never left. The dead have not packed with the living. They are with the Susan's breast. They are in the wailing child. They are with us in our homes. They are with us in this crowd. The dead have not packed with the living. So listen more often to things than to beings. Oh, listen more often to things than to beings. It is the ancestors' breath when the fire's voice is heard. It is the ancestors' breath in the voice of the waters. When the fire's voice is heard, to the ancestors' breath in the voice of the
Good morning and welcome to the online service of the First Unitarian Church of Hamilton. We begin with our land acknowledgement. The city of Hamilton is situated upon the traditional territories of the Erie, Neutral, Huron-Wendat, Haudenosaunee, and Mississaugas. This land is covered by the Dish with One Spoon Wampum Belt Covenant, which was an agreement between the Haudenosaunee and Anishinaabe to share and care for the resources around the Great Lakes. As settlers, we continue to benefit from the land and its resources. As settlers, we must ask ourselves how or if we have shared and cared for the earth and its gifts. Facing the truth is hard. Truth must come before reconciliation. Our musicians this morning are Rachel Derry, Cindy Carey, Joanne Deere, and Marianne Forbes. In addition, this morning, we have drawn music from the wider Unitarian world. Technical support for this morning's service is provided by John Elliott and Monica Bennett. Whoever you are, whomever you love, wherever you are on your journey of faith or search for meaning, today you're one of us and you're welcome in this house of worship. Our mission is to nurture one another, serve the community, and inspire action to heal the world. Our opening words are from the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. All people are caught in an inescapable network of mutuality, tied in a single garment of destiny. Whatever affects one directly affects all indirectly. I can never be what I ought to be until you are what you ought to be, and you can never be what you ought to be until I am what I ought to be. Our chalice represents the light of hope at the center of our faith tradition. The spark of this flame draws us into our time of worship and community. Please join me in reading the chalice lighting words now shared on the screen with us. May this flame be our light of friendship and love.
Good morning. My name is Jamie Boyce, and I have the great privilege of serving this congregation as its interim minister. Today, we gather to honor and celebrate the life and legacy of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. The service today is an invitation to listen deeply to the call of history upon our lives as people of faith, as people called to create justice in the world. Whoever you are, whomever you love, wherever you are on your journey of faith or search for meaning, you are welcome here. Let us open our hearts and minds as we gather to celebrate this extraordinary day.
Good morning. Hymn number 347, Gather the Spirit. And this is a hymn written by prolific UU composer Jim Scott. Gather the Spirit, harvest the power, our separate fires will kindle one flame, witness the mystery of this hour, our trials by this light appear all the same. Gather in peace, gather in thanks, gather in sympathy now and then, gather in hope, compassion and strength, gather to celebrate once again. Gather the spirit of heart and mind, seeds for the sowing are laid in store, nurtured in love and conscience refined, with body and spirit united once more. Gather in peace, gather in thanks, gather in sympathy now and then, gather
Our story this morning is Intersection Allies, We Make Room for All by Chelsea Johnson, Latoya Council, and Carolyn Choi. Illustrations by Ashley Seal Smith. Witness the lives of a bold group of friends. If one is in need, another defends. Age is one trait that each of them share, but kids' lives are unique, as you'll soon be aware. Each child has a story in their own point of view, filled with passion and power, just like you. My name is Alejandra, but I go by Allie. I use it share, but it doesn't define me. Instead, it allows me to zip, glide, and play. When I need to get through, friends help make a way. Where there's room for some, we make room for all. Friends can be allies, no matter how small. Hello, I'm Parker. After school every day, Ellie's family takes care of us both while we play. My mom works hard to provide for me. Her love's the source of our stability. Not toys or money, nor treasures untold. Community care is more precious than gold. Skirts and frills are cute, I suppose, but my superhero cape is more Kate than those bows. Some may be confused that a kid like me can wear what I want, be proud and carefree. My friends defend my choices in place. A bathroom, like all rooms, should be a safe place. My name is Adila, and just like Kate, what I wear inspires endless debate. Some give, some chant, some sing, some pray. My hijab is my choice. You can choose your own way. The clothes that you wear never justify hatred. Clothes can be playful, simple, or sacred. Covered, adorned, or with casual flair. My body's my own. I dress it with care. My name is Nia, and with what's on the news, it's easy to be frightened or sing the blues. For her, for them, for him, and for me, we all deserve to breathe and be free. The color of our skin is no reason to hide. We protest for safety, equality, and pride. Our friends join along in solidarity and love. This is the stuff that allies are made of. Safety also includes our trees and air, the land we've called home, our places of prayer. I am Dakota, and like my ancestors, my tribe and I are water protectors. From profit and power we stand up to preserve our nations, our cultures, and the respect we deserve. My name is Gloria, and tengo 7 años. After school, it's to la fruteria I go. Trabajo cada día junto a mi madre. Vendemos pina dulce y mangos con chile. My language and savvy allow us to thrive. I've got hopes and dreams and skills and drive. Working together makes us both more secure. I'm a daughter, a partner, and an entrepreneur. My name is Hee-jung, and I was born in Seoul. I moved here when I was 5 years old. I'm part of what's called the 1.5 generation. My parents and I span 2 different nations. Like Gloria, I am a help to my mother by translating for her one word to another. When the landlord tells Mom, you can pay me next Friday, I repeat in Korean, Omorento deum je geum yore nado donende. We navigate life in our new home together because kids have the skills to make every day better. My name is Yuri, and I'm new to this place. Hee-jung's family welcomed me with love and with grace. Finding a refuge meant traveling far from home. I sailed, I flew, I rode, and I roamed. Escaping violence, war, heartache, and intrusion, we came to this nation seeking dreams and inclusion. From near, from far, from here, from there, we're more than our origins. We all deserve care. Race, religion, citizenship, class, and ability, each of these intersects to form identity. Age, gender, size, and skin color, too, can make living life different for a friend than for you. Barriers and biases are often to blame. We strive to be equal, but not all the same. Life's ups and downs can take many forms, but standing together will rewrite the norms. Where there's room for some, we make room for all. Friends can be allies, no matter how small.
Number 1017, Building a New Way. We are building a new way. We are building a new way. We are building a new way, feeling stronger every day. We are building a new way. We are working to be free. We are working to be free. We are working to be free. Hate and greed and jealousy. We are working to be free. We can feed our every need. We can feed our every need. We can feed our every need. Start with love, that is the seed. We can feed our every need. Peace and freedom is our cry. Peace and freedom is our cry. Peace and freedom is our cry. Without these, the world will die. Peace and freedom is our cry. Peace and freedom is our cry.
There are congregations and communities of faith that have undertaken a practice of reading Letter from Birmingham Jail yearly as part of their liturgical calendar, as a ritual of reflection, accountability, and witness of King's seminal statement, a letter that became the book Why We Can't Wait, published in 1964 as a memoir reflecting on the Birmingham campaign for desegregation. This way of reading and reflecting is an invitation to allow a text to emerge and speak to the deep within us, to allow a text to evocatively provoke a new understanding and a new revelation. As I turn toward Letter from Birmingham Jail this year, the year in which Canadian Unitarian Universalists voted to affirm and promote individual and communal action that accountably dismantles racism and systemic barriers to full inclusion in ourselves and our institutions, King's Letter from Birmingham Jail is a haunting echo of the past piercing into the present with a call to action, a call to confront failures in progress and failures in action. King's disappointment with white moderates linger and persist, and it's time to wonder, have we heard King's call to action? King's Letter written in April of 1963 during his imprisonment in Birmingham, Alabama, for participating in nonviolent demonstrations against segregation. While in jail, King penned the letter addressing criticism he received from 8 Birmingham religious leaders that was published in the Birmingham News on the day of King's arrest. King starts the letter with, "My dear fellow clergymen, while confined here in Birmingham City Jail, I came across your recent statement calling my present activities unwise and untimely. The published criticism of King was an attempt to slow and neutralize the nonviolent movement for racial equality in Birmingham, and it shapes the content of King's letter. Letter from Birmingham Jail outlines the logic of nonviolent direct action as a way to peacefully surface social and political tensions to the point at which they must be addressed. King is clear that negotiation is always preferred, but he is also clear that those in power do not necessarily give it away. He writes, "We know through painful experience that freedom is never voluntarily given by the oppressor. It must be demanded by the oppressed, and that there is no time for change," King asserts. "The time is now." Letter from Birmingham Jail is also a scathing and important critique of white moderates. And this is the message I am drawn to this year as I visit this letter and we collectively reflect on King's legacy. King writes in the letter, "I must make 2 honest confessions. I must confess that over the past few years, I have been gravely disappointed with the white moderate." King goes on to lay bare the reality that the true barrier to justice might very well be the white moderate, who is more devoted to order than to justice, who prefers the negative peace of the status quo as opposed to the peace generated by actually achieving justice. He names the paternalism of the white moderate that seeks to control the timetable of justice and thereby willfully prolonging suffering and oppression. This tepid response in 1963 from white moderates continues today, and those of us inhabiting whiteness would do well to notice how we participate in stalling change. Perhaps cloaking our ambivalence in varieties of nice racism that Robin DiAngelo describes in her book, Nice Racism: How Progressive White People Perpetuate Racial Harm. As Dr. King shared in the Ware Lecture delivered to Unitarian Universalists in 1966 titled, "Don't Sleep Through the Revolution," the idea, King writes, "The idea whose time has come today is the idea of freedom and human dignity. And so all over the world, we see something of a freedom explosion. And this reveals to us that we are in the midst of revolutionary times. An older order is passing away and a new order is coming into being. The great question is," King continues, "is what do we do when we find ourselves in such a period? Aren't we Canadian Unitarian Universalists living in revolutionary times? Are we sleeping through the revolution, sleeping through the struggle for truth and reconciliation, waiting for economic injustice to subtly disappear, coyly dodging the hard work of dismantling white supremacy?" In 2015, Dr. Cornell West published a reflection in our UU World magazine, reminding us of the radical King that valued dissent and called out the evils of racism, militarism, materialism, and poverty. West reminds us that for King, the condition of truth was to allow suffering to speak. For King, justice was what love looks like in public. As people of covenant, people committed to justice and equity, responsible for the interdependent web of life, let us reclaim and renew that radical love that transforms the world And as liberation theologian Howard Thurman reminds us, keep fresh before us the moments of our high resolve, that in good times or in tempests, we may not forget that to which our lives are committed. Keep fresh before us the moments of our high resolve. May it be so. Blessed be. And I invite us into a time of reflective silence, followed by musical meditation from Cindy Carey.
We pray for healing and open hearts. We pray for courage to do our part. And when we're given the chance to rise, may we move forward with opened eyes. We pray for healing and open hearts. We pray for courage to do our part. And when we're given the chance to rise, may we move forward with open eyes. We pray for healing and open hearts. We pray for courage to do our part. And when we're given the chance to rise, may we move forward with open eyes. May we move forward with open eyes. May we move forward with open eyes.
So technology threw us a curveball today as my camera wasn't working. So I'm sharing Reverend Jamie's office to deliver my part of our service this morning. Who is our neighbor? It's one of the fundamental questions that's posed in nearly all religion and spiritual frameworks. In the last century, Mahatma Gandhi and Martin Luther King anchored their movements in expansive answers that broke down barriers of religion and race. The day before his assassination, King delivered a speech in Memphis, born of a universalism centered in mutuality and connection. Be concerned about your brother. You may not be on strike, but either we go up together or we go down together. Let us develop a kind of dangerous unselfishness. The question I want to ask today is, what will it take to develop this dangerous unselfishness in ourselves and our church into 21st century Hamilton, Ontario, Canada? Because we are not there yet. I've lived in the city of Hamilton since 1999, first renting apartments in Ward 2, and then purchasing a home in Ward 1 in May of 2001. I live close to the church on a dead-end street where I know most of my immediate neighbors, the vast majority of whom also own their own homes. And to my knowledge, out of about 40 homes on the street, white people own about 36 of them. Yet when I look at the demographics of the city of Hamilton, my neighborhood is not representative of the city or even of the ward in which I live. According to a January 2017 CBC report, in 2016, the census results indicated that for the first time, and I'm using the report's terms, visible minorities accounted for over 100,000 people in the city, which represented 18.6% of our population. Now, while the city's planner at the time noted that this was a milestone to celebrate, the self-congratulatory tone echoed the Canadian tendency towards selective vision. Since the days of Pierre Trudeau's government's multiculturalism policies, Canadians have tended to accept the idea that a diverse population in and of itself indicates that we have a just society, without considering the contradictions between policies and lived realities, not the least of which is the conditions and situations different groups live in. A more detailed breakdown of the distribution of BIPOC citizens shows the greatest concentration in the downtown and economically depressed areas of the city, 25% in Ward 1, 31% in Ward 2, with the smallest percentage in the more affluent parts of the city, representing only 6.1% in Ward 13, an area which includes Dundas, and 8.3% in Ward 15, which also includes Waterdown and the surrounding area. So who are our neighbors? The church is situated in Ward 1. We're on the edge of the city center. While the streets south of the church are relatively affluent, travel a bit east and north of us, and that's not the case. Life in encampments and overflowing shelters is the story of many Hamiltonians right now. And the people periodically appearing in tents in our church gardens are not anomalies. They too are our neighbors. Who are we? Who are the members of the First Unitarian Church of Hamilton? The members and congregants of the First Unitarian Church of Hamilton are mostly well-fed, securely housed, and have health care available to them. Most of us are white. Many of us own our own homes. Our church building is financially secure and the church well supported by its membership. We enjoy a high level of privilege, and that privilege needs to be examined and understood by each of us and used to leverage our voices for justice. Our UU affiliation and identity begins with the idea of covenant, a free agreement between us based on mutual obligation to each other. But what does covenant mean in the context of our community and our world? Paul Rassor, in his essay, Identity, Covenant, and Commitment, describes it this way. A covenantal understanding of prophetic justice work creates commitments that reach beyond the covenanting community. When we commit to creating just communities and social structures, we treat our communities and the larger societies as parties to our covenant. Our individual and congregational complicity in the economic and political structures around us that create and perpetrate conditions of racism and other oppressions needs to be scrutinized as we lobby for social change in the world. King's goal of dangerous unselfishness first requires us to identify which parts of our lives we are selfishly and fearfully protecting. Dangerous unselfishness means a willingness to consider a radical sharing and redistribution of resources in our society. And what are we called to do then? Unitarian Universalists all seem to agree that there are many problems in the world, even if we don't always see eye to eye on what the priorities are or the best actions to take in every situation. Nowhere did the tensions of our free faith come more into focus than in the tension between individual and collective belief and the influence each of these has on our actions. John Luther Adams, one of the leading UU theologians of the 20th century, observed, "A group of individuals speaking their separate minds does not constitute a structure of effective social change. It is our covenant of mutual obligation which allows us to work together effectively for change in the world." However, there's a further caveat. Given our denomination's history and our current demographic makeup in our church, we also need to scrutinize paternalistic and colonialist attitudes in ourselves and our institutions. Those in positions of power need to entertain the possibility that they don't have all the answers. Helping others in our community does not mean leading the agenda and dictating the terms of our involvement. We need to decolonize the way we act for social change, moving from the paternalism of the past to partnering with other organizations to leverage our voices, allying and conspiring with those we hope to help. Rebecca Ann Parker, in her essay, Resisting Evil, Reverencing Life, points us towards the actions necessary to fight oppression and injustice. It must be stopped. It must not be allowed to cause harm. It has to be interrupted, called out, deflated, disempowered, voted out of office, replaced, redirected, contained, or transformed. This is our covenant and calling as a free church. May we commit again to making it so.
Morally, I was led to nonviolence because I felt that it was the best moral way to deal with the problem. We were seeking to establish a just society, and it was my feeling then, and it is my feeling now, that violence is certainly much more socially destructive, and it creates many more social problems than it solves. So I was led to nonviolence for deep moral reasons. And I turned to it because I felt that it was the morally excellent way to deal with the problem of racial injustice in our country.
There is no freedom, the wise man said, let justice roll down when the poor cry out for shelter and bread. Let justice roll down like a mighty stream. Oh, children, don't you get weary, walk together, believe in the dream. When the way gets rough, we'll make a new way. Let justice roll down like a mighty stream. Hatred will never drive out hate. Let love roll down, roll down. Remember, our hearts can make us great. Let love roll down like a mighty stream. Oh, children, don't you get weary, walk together, believe in the dream. When the way gets rough, we'll make a new way. Let your love roll down like a mighty stream. When brutality threatens our daughters and sons, let peace roll down, roll down. May our voices rise up louder than the guns. Let peace roll down like a mighty stream. Oh, children, don't you get weary. Walk together, believe in the dream. When the way gets rough, we'll make a new way. And let peace roll down like a mighty stream. Step by step, one by one, let justice roll down, roll down. They can kill the prophet, but the dream lives on. Let justice roll down like a mighty stream. Oh, children, don't you get weary. Walk together, believe in the dream. When the way gets rough, we'll make a new way. Let justice roll down like a mighty stream.
I turned to it because I felt that it was the morally excellent way to deal with the problem of racial injustice in our country.
Beloveds, we leave you with these words today from Rosemary Bray McNatt. The truth is this: if here is no justice, there will be no peace.
If we cannot bring justice into the small circles of our individual lives, we cannot hope to bring justice to the world.
And if we do not bring justice to the world, none of us is safe and none of us will survive.
Nothing that we do is more important than making justice real here where we are.
Hard as diversity is,
it is our most important work.
Go in peace, enjoy this final piece of music, and we will meet in our discussion rooms.
We will not stop singing. We will not stop singing. We will not stop singing till the world can hear the song, till the world can sing along. We will not stop marching. We will not stop marching. We will not stop marching till the world can hear the song, till the world can sing along. Till the world can sing, till the world can sing, till the world